So here's the agenda for this morning. I want to do a quick review of the global governance structure. Then I will give you an update on progress on YMCA Canada's 3 priorities for our global work. And I'll end with a preview of what's coming up and close with a short video invitation to all of us from one of my American colleagues. I hope this slide looks somewhat familiar. Globally, just like nationally, the YMCA is structured as a federation. The 119 national movements form the World Council of YMCAs, and you'll hear the different country counts, 119, 120, 121. It really depends on the standing of the countries with the World Alliance of YMCAs. As we all know, there are certain revenues and allocations that have to be paid, and as countries weaken or strengthen, we may have a drop-off or an add-on of a Y. So it's a bit fluid, but right now we're solid at 119. The equivalent of our National Council provides policy direction and elects the volunteer members of the Executive Committee. In the bylaws of the World Alliance of YMCAs, Canada is accorded 1 seat, and I was elected to a 4-year term in 2010 in Hong Kong. President Ken Colleton from the USA has put in place 3 committees. You see them listed there, and 1 task force, and there'll be more about the Image and Impact Task Force shortly. So these are pictures of the personnel or leadership group. It's made up of the elected officers. So we have Ken from the US, who's the president, Helen from New Zealand, who's the treasurer, and Fernando from Mexico, and many of you in the room will know these individuals. And 2 committee chairs, Vezi from South Africa and myself from the Image and Impact Task Force, and Vezi does the governance committee. As you can see, there's regional representation, a key value at the global level to ensure that at the highest governance level, we hear the voices of YMCA leaders from all of the continents. This group meets frequently throughout the year by teleconference. The Executive Committee meets once a year in March and often rotates its meetings among the world regions. So while we are very connected, we do it mostly virtually and do meet once a year. This year, we met in Jericho in the Middle East to receive reports from the Secretary General, or the CEO, as we know it in North America, to meet in our committees and to discuss committee reports. This year, for example, we discussed modernizing our bylaws, the new social media toolkits that the World Alliance is using to strengthen the YMCA's global image, and adopted annual financial statements, familiar agenda items to all of us. A word about my role. I was elected by World Council to serve the best interests of the global YMCA as a whole, and we all wear that hat that sit on the Executive Committee. But I also have opportunities to talk about YMCA Canada's global strategic priorities and to bring into the discussions Canadian perspectives, values, and goals for the global YMCA. These are the 2012 to 2014 priorities developed by our national board's World Relationship Committee that Rob Reid chairs and affirmed by the full board. Our #1 priority remains our commitment to support the development of strong YMCAs around the world, movement strengthening. This is work largely done by you through your international partnerships. We know that you are sharing your knowledge and expertise, for example, of leadership development, governance issues, and program operations with your partners and at the area alliance level. As you can see from this list, with many different YMCAs. As a federation, we are providing important financial support to movement strengthening efforts locally, regionally, and through the areas, and at the global level. Our global reach strategy within Plan Y also outlines our commitment to further strengthen this capacity building work. These are just 3 examples of partnership visits and meetings that occurred this year. You can see that YMCA of Greater Vancouver hosted the Shanghai YMCA, and a 3-year developmental agreement resulted from that. The YMCAs of Quebec visited the YMCA of Haiti, and they continue to do their great work in growth and the rebound from the terrible earthquake there. and the Africa-Canadian Leadership Initiative meeting occurred just before NATO began, with very fruitful discussions and an agreement to continue that initiative for another 3 years. So fantastic, fantastic partnership work. We are also committed to helping support the work being done at the global level to increase the YMCA's global visibility. As Betty Lou said, I chair the Image and Impact Task Force, which provides governance oversight to this work. Globally, we are in the early stages. This year, the task force has focused on reviewing position papers that were developed regarding the YMCA's collective work in the areas of youth and health and employment, and you heard Romulo speak about those issues. We've also begun to look at the risk management issues associated with increased global visibility. And to help us with this work, we received a presentation from the Canadian Red Cross, who's a co-leader of the Red Cross global branding work. Lots of applied learnings there. And our third priority is to strengthen Canada's contribution to global dialogue. As we come together as a global federation more often, there are opportunities for Canadians to participate in global discussions, such as the Change Agent Program and the upcoming 2014 World Council. We continue to look for those opportunities and are developing resources to support Canadians who enter into global dialogues. So, what's coming up? The Image and Impact Task Force will be providing some advice to the World Alliance on the new logo that they introduced this year. You can see it there. As you can probably guess, it's not easy to develop a logo for the International Secretariat that everyone can agree to. The work of the task force will be to come to a workable solution or compromise through governance oversight. You heard Romulo speak about the important research that they are undertaking and about the global youth empowerment work. So, that leaves the 2014 World Council. But before we get to that, I just want to put in a plug for the 2015 International Conference. So this is my ad for my Calgary colleagues. As a Calgarian, I'm thrilled that CEO Helene Weir and her team accepted the YMCA Canada's invitation to host this conference. The conference will bring together more than 350 YMCA leaders from Mexico, USA, and Canada, and from our partner countries as well, to talk about global issues and ways to strengthen our global initiatives work. The program is still in development, but you can mark down October 1st to the 4th, 2015. Globally, all eyes are on Estes Park, Colorado, where the 2014 World Council will be held. It happens every 4 years, and it's an exciting and critical meeting. And some of you came to our early morning session this morning, and I hope that whetted your appetite to make sure and get your applications in. There are lots of people around the world hard at work planning the agenda and the experience. We expect more than 800 leaders from every corner of the world. From now until June 2014, planning each element of the World Council will be a significant focus of the World Alliance and the World Alliance Planning Committee. And of course, YMCA will be sending a delegation. The June 5th issue of CEO Action News has the information on how associations can nominate people for participation in this delegation. One of the key people involved in the World Council planning is my colleague, Courtney Lawrence, from the USA. Let's hear her message.
Hello, my name is Courtney Lawrence. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm co-chair of the World Council Oversight Committee. We are so excited about Estes Park and the World Council that's coming up in the summer of 2014. This is going to be a World Council like none other before. We're focused on youth empowerment as the primary platform and driver, but the approach, the programs, the structure, the experience is what is going to be different this time. Please join us. We're excited to have everyone from all around the world. Thank you.
And thank you, Courtney. In closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your support and interest in the Global YMCA. Throughout this past year, I've heard from many of you and enjoy our discussions. I continue to be honored to work with Marianne, my national staff partner, to work with people like Carlos Sanve from Africa, my international staff partner, Johan, people like Romulo. It's just a real honor, and to be your representative. So thank you very much. And if there's any questions for myself or from Romulo, we'd be happy to take them. Betty Lou, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.